Good morning on both accounts. I'm doing a Facebook Live and Michael always does the same, so we have two screens going. These are Michael's people. These are my people. Welcome.
My people can kick your people's ass. How about that, Chip?
There's nobody there, so...
So we've been talking quite a bit lately about being an ally and how we mean something very distinct by that. And for me, the ally distinctions come up inside of the wealth warrior world or way. For me, it's a whole paradigm. And it's very intense, and it's like the highest level of responsibility of facing yourself and reality and others and creating reality and what's happening in yourself and with others. And and it's very exciting because if you are the ultimate creator in your world, in your life, and there's no excuses, there's no tolerating, there's no settling for being or behaving less powerful. You always have to find a solution. Mm-hmm. You always have to find an upgrade. And it's exhilarating in its path of mastery and increasing power and leadership power and growth and aliveness.
So what I learned, or what I see that's pivotal in it, is you're not speaking of alliance or being each other's ally in the first place. You're speaking about being an ally, which means it is a stand you make independent of whatever people are saying or however they are showing up. It's a way that you choose to move through the world. It's your stand and yours alone.
Yes, and Jordan Peterson has I don't know if it's a chapter title in his book. I think it is, and it's something like this: treat yourself as if you're someone you're responsible for caring for.
Yeah.
Right? For whom you're responsible for caring. I'm messing that up, but this is like a whole other level of that. This is like, treat yourself as if you are the ultimate coach for yourself, or the one who sees your limitless potential and power, holds you to it, accepts nothing less, and gives the deepest level of fuck about you. This is one of my, I think we all have our childhood wounds, if you will, or ways that we learn to cope as children with living in whatever violence or violation or difficulty there was in our world. The thing I kind of made up, or the story I told, was that no one cares. And so then the approach I chose as an adult, which was so powerful, is I care.
Ultimate care.
At the highest level, about everyone else and about myself. And it's the ultimate antidote to no one cares. So powerful. And there's actually a Uruguayan, I think is he a psychologist? But he has some brilliant work that's very much related to all of this that I haven't ever explored very much. But man, we're so close to Uruguay. It's tempting, he's someone I want to learn from, because he talks about three core wounds that we have. One is betrayal, one is abandonment, and what is the other one? But and then with each of these three, the antidote is, and I'm putting it in his language now, somewhat, you to never betray and to never betray yourself. You were abandoned. Don't abandon yourself. Don't abandon others. You take it on as your commitment. And it's very powerful. But so examples of being an ally for me. Now, the ultimate kind of like situation where I get to be an ally for people is my I stands. The way the agreement is formed, the way people agree to engage and be engaged with, the game that we play for the 3 solid days is basically I'm their ally and they're 100% choosing to play this game. At my very first I stand, which at the time I called a boot camp, a wealth warrior boot camp, my mom came, and she came to support her son in living out his dream and his vision. And very first session, very first day of boot camp, the first session where we're all seated front row, and I'm setting the context, and I'm speaking really powerfully, and my mom's running her mouth in the back,
Coming for support.
And I realize I am going to have to confront her if I'm going to lead her and everyone else to glory, as you talk about leading relationships to glory, to get everyone to the end result that they've come for. I'm going to have to confront my mom with no weakness, with no half-assedness. I'm going to have to confront her head on.
Lady in the back!
So I walked up to her, and when we engage in the I stand, you stand up. So it's me and her face to face, And afterwards, at the next break, she came up to me and she told me, she said, I felt so humiliated, and I felt so like, fuck, I don't want to humiliate my mother, but I had to find, I had to make it up in the moment. I had to find a way to, I knew that I had to call her to her highest level, and I probably didn't do that in a very graceful, skillful way. And this is my first boot camp, But later on, through my journey with my mom, there are times when if I'm calling her out or trying to have her see something or face herself to a higher level, for the sake of the family, for the sake of our alliance as a family, and she really lets me know, back off. In those moments, it's a challenge for me. Who do I be now? Do I keep pushing? Do I back off?
Right.
What is it's not like there's one way to be about it, but it's an art form and it's a constant learning. How can I be the greatest for my mom?
Exactly.
So that I can call her to grow, to be more powerful for the family and herself. So yeah, but what I want to say is that when you hold yourself to that high of a standard, that you have to deliver your family, your allies, your team to glory, and it's 100% your responsibility, then you want to bring really the maximum fire that you can, if you will. And it's a dance.
Yes.
Sometimes you might go too far, but sometimes you need to go over the line also.
But that's, like we talked about allyship yesterday, and this was exactly my question. Because it seemed like or being an ally seemed like an intention or a way to show up, a way to stand, and then there's a whole managerial question that comes, because it doesn't mean always confronting, It could be in that situation that for your mom with that group, you don't face her or whatever. You say it yourself, I wasn't maybe not as graceful and elegant as I was later. So there's a mastery there that's beyond say do this or do that, and it really feels like the key of allyship is intention, is the way or is what you're focusing on. Like when I talk about seduction, I have the last phase is when the guy's not just trying to get what he wants or trying to share, but he's at the service of the seduction at play, meaning he's there and he thinks not only of her as a protagonist or him as a protagonist, what do I do, but he thinks as a director looking down and say, what can I do to make that this is a great encounter, that me as a protagonist play well, that she as a protagonist plays well, and that we both thrive, and that the seduction happens.
Yes.
And so
100% like that.
Yeah.
And instead of, I mean, you could use the word seduction, but it's you want to create the right context,
yes,
or environment in which the person says, yes, you know, they get more into their own power, more
yes,
into standing for the other, more into standing for themselves, more. And this is, you know, because we've been talking about how you interact with your men and invite men into their greatness. And even in something like a sales call or something, what you're doing is, in a way, seducing them into their greatness. If they see it, they feel it, and they want to commit to it, you know? And in the quote-unquote coaching as well, but it's the same thing in an ally relationship.
But the key is, and also the touchstone, and what will inform you what to do, is really your own stand. Is always going, like, think of the man, you know, and just go back like, no, I stand for their greatness.
Yes.
I stand for this interaction to be great. Not just reacting to what do I want. Not just saying, trying to please her.
Yes.
But think of and I think that's both the difficulty of it, you know, the difficulty of like, what should I do?
Yes.
But also the greatness of it.
Yes.
Just go back to your stand. What are you standing for?
And this is great. And what makes it so that you can really go to leaps and bounds of next level power and growth is when the other person commits themselves to a much higher level. So, for example, when you committed yourself to a much higher level and we had a much bigger game to play, now I can bring it much more intensely, and you receive it and you upgrade yourself. Right. You look for the upgrade yourself. It's a whole upward spiral that can happen. And before you have that commitment, there's such a low level that you're welcome to play at in the other person's life. And so if you think about the guys that you're standing for, how can you get them to see the level that we can play at together, the growth and transformation that could happen if they would make a much bigger commitment? But now, because they're committed at this low level, there's very little impact that you can have in their life and that they can have in their own life. Right. Because the commitment's so low. Mm. And you know, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking back to...
it's the same with women. You know, you think of the guys, but it's the same with women. Women think of, I would say this, they think of like a boyfriend and a husband, you know. And that, to me, that commitment level is here, you know. But then, that's why, and guys say, oh, I got to play that game or not play that game, you know. I got to be free or I got to be committed. But imagine you come shit game, you know. To me, that commitment is so way higher.
Yes.
And if you can bring that to the girl, you know, if you can say, listen, this is what you're thinking, this is your commitment. Yes. But imagine this, you know, and you speak about that world, you know, and guys usually don't see it, you know. But if you can see it, and then you can also present it to the woman that she feels, oh, wait a minute, you know. It's incredible. You can get everything. You can get a strong commitment to this woman, have her forever in your life, and completely honor your own desires and sense of adventure and love for women, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
And going back to 97 again with my brothers, you know, they didn't have the vision to be entrepreneurs. It wasn't their desire. It wasn't like they weren't present to it. Mm-hmm. They were more present to like enjoying their life when they're not working at their job, for me, right, in landscaping, at a very low rate of pay. And at first I said, okay, they're not interested in this, you know. Right. I had some evidence of that. I had a lot of evidence of that, what they're committed to, what they're interested in. But I said, let me go share with them, with all of my tizan, right, all of my whatever, what's possible, this whole world that they don't see, what it can be like. And then they committed, and then a whole next level of interaction and transformation and growth was possible. Now, if we have a much more powerful game to play, we can agree to different commitments, rules, and things like this how we're going to play with each other in this world. And man, it was incredible for us all. And for me too. Without them saying yes, I myself am playing with myself at a lower level.
Right.
I don't have allies to call me to a higher level. So it's also in my best interest to have men who are committed to themselves at a much higher level. It requires of me to be a much greater man. You know, and I look back on we met less than 2 years ago, but I'm just thinking, what if earlier on in our connection, I had shown you a vision of entrepreneurship and or allyship, that if you could have, for example, had a sense of where we are now and what's possible, how much sooner you might have been like, let's do it.
Yes.
You know? And
it's all your fault.
And I know this is a joke, but look into the future. It's my responsibility, like someone else like you comes along. I don't want to wait and wait and wait and wait. Like, how can I be the one to show them? And we talked about this.
It's Morpheus going reaching in the matrix. How deep can you?
What's on the other side of the mountain, and who they can be on the other side of the mountain. What that can be like for us to have an alliance on the other side of the mountain that they haven't seen yet, that they don't know yet, and they'll look at me like I'm crazy, and they'll say they don't want it because they've never been there.
Yes.
They haven't felt it, or they would want it. It's on me.
Yes.
They won't take me there. I have to bring that vision, aliveness, whatever, have them get buzzing with it and say, come with me, let's go there. And then they say, okay, all right, Michael, take me to the other side of the mountain.
Right.
And this is like with your guys as well, right? They have to go on this journey with you. Mm-hmm. And they have to somehow believe, like, I know what they want, right? And you also see what's possible. Mm. But I'm wondering, like, what is the next level of you showing them and having them feel what's possible like that?
Well, that's the frustration that we're like, or when we were upon our own limits, I can think of guys that I can't, I'm like, I want to show them, and I'm showing them what's behind the mountain. And they say, oh, no, I want to stay this side of the mountain.
Yes.
And you come up to your own limitations of painting that picture, and you come up to your own limitations of, I have to choose my battles.
Yes.
I can't, maybe not save everyone,
For sure not.
And coming to, well, who says? And coming to terms with that. Like, if I cannot save everyone right now, who am I saving?
Yes.
Who am I saving? How deep into the matrix do I go to save one guy?
Yes.
Who is the one?
And, there's an aspect of, because I'm dealing with this with a former business partner, that I keep reaching out, I keep reaching out. And there's a thing there that I'm aware of that's a potential, that I'm trying to do the dance, is that if he comes and steps forward from me pulling, finding, going after him, he could enter this next level of whatever, expecting that, like it's on me to do that. No. I like yes, I'm committed, but it is also being an ally to say they have to step up. Mm-hmm. They have to make the commitment. I can't keep pulling. Mm-hmm. There's a place where even if it looks like you're not being an ally, that you draw a boundary and you say, if you really fucking want it, you step over the line.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, in practical terms, if you agree there with him, for example, to be in an alliance, and then I'm thinking also, well, with your brothers, for example, it's easy because they are your brothers. There's no real. I can see with the people that are close to me, it's obvious.
That's why I'm excited to play this game. Like, 1 month, we're playing the ally game.
Yes.
We're playing the war game. And it's a game. If you have reaction, if you upset another brother in
Right.
the game, whatever. Like it's all a game. But we're gonna play all out. It's like a football game. We're playing to win, man. And if we fail, hey man, didn't we fucking have a great time? Did we learn some things? Did we bond greater as brothers? The real victory is not gonna be even in the victory. It's gonna be raising up to the next level. It's gonna be getting stronger. It's gonna becoming more fully alive. It's gonna be more brotherhood. Like these are the real fucking benefits.
I love that it's like a month. It's the same with like a marriage. Imagine you're married for a year and then you reassess.
Yes.
To me that's very liberating in a way. You know.
Yes.
It brings out the best. So what are you gonna do?
With Deborah and I, it was one day
Yes.
at a time, and then we reassess.
I said marry each other every day.
Yes. I'm sure it's in your book.
Yes. As a wise man once wrote.
Hans wrote a great book, by the way, for men looking for a vision of a way to be in the land of women, or a code of honor in the land of women, especially, I was going to say, especially men who are single, but even if you're not.
No, it's married men also.
Yes.
For sure. Especially married men.
Way of a seducer.
The way of a seducer.
The way of a seducer.
A code of honor to a lost art.
That book, Hans.
In Amazon.
Amazon. Hans Comyn, The Way of a Seducer. But, so coming back to, now where were we? Because we were just on something.
Allyship, that you do it, like, you could do it for 30 days.
Yes.
And
so, for my former business partner, what I want to bring to him is not just getting him here and excited about something. I want to present a game to play that he's committed. Okay, this is how we're playing. These are the rules. What happened is you have to be clear what happens when the rules are broken. Mm-hmm. That when the rules are broken, I do this and he does this. And if he doesn't do this, then like he's out of the game or whatever. Like it's got to be all very clear so that nothing's personal. It's like this is just the game that we're playing, and he agrees that wow, yeah, playing this game full on is going to be great for me. It's going to make me a more powerful man, and I might fail.
I love the idea of playing a game because it doesn't require us to be a certain way. You know?
What do you mean?
Like it's not, you got to be this kind of guy to do this or no. We're playing a game.
Yes.
These are the rules. It's like you say, it's nothing personal. And so you could just try it out.
Yes.
I love the idea, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to be committed to being an ally for life,
yes.
For example.
Imagine you could try to be married for a year. You know, a lot of people would try it out more, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just try it 1 year.
And imagine how much creativity.
And it's a game.
Fun, yeah.
It's a game. It's not like about you. It's like, are you going to play the role of the husband well? Are you going to play the role of the woman well?
Yes.
You know, and you're each other's
judge.
judge.
And then at the end of the year, you sit down and assess.
Yes.
How do we play the game?
Yes.
Do we want to play again?
Do we want to play again?
Or am I fucking done with this game?
Yes.
No.
And you could blame the other for not playing it well, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you play games with others, and then you realize, hey, maybe it's me. You know, because I'm failing at this game every time. So. That would take away so much of the pain and the.
So, careful not to. I'm creating a game.
Yes.
For men to step into the role of a wealth warrior, mm-hmm. which means ultimate warrior and creator in life. Mm-hmm. Face everything, avoid nothing, stand for your values, dreams, vision, and people and yourself. And create an abundance of these values. So it's like an ultimate kind of 100% responsibility for being a warrior and creator in life. And show up as an ally, like leave no man behind. And do it in the context, this first game anyway, do it in the context that the victory that we're going for is financial. It's with finance and business. It's about money and business. Mm. And this is the game. That's the victory. But the real victory is going to be what you learn about being warrior, creator, and ally in life. It's going to be the brotherhood that you get. It's going to be the growing stronger. It's going to be the personal transformation. It's going to be next level of mastery and commitment These things are going to be the real victory. That these things can last. And then on top of that, if you have the victory with the money, great. If you don't, you probably made a lot more money than you were going to make anyway without playing the game. So, it's exciting.
So it's
the more I talk about it.
So financially, it's warrior mentality and it's being an ally.
Yes. And I don't like the word mentality, you know? It's just like, to me, it's not just in your mind, but I mean, there's the warrior spirit and the warrior way of everything, right? I just say that because so much is about like mentality these days. It's kind of the thing between the big difference between knowing and being awake, if you will. Like awake is like also in your body, full of the desire, the energy, the full on everything to act in line with your values, not just to have the mentality of it. Yes.
You just like the mentality. So what do people do when they're interested? Is it set up? Is it starting date?
You gotta find me. June 1st.
Did you do your announcement?
June 1st is the first game. Thank you, Hans. Yes, the game begins June 1st. You can get in early. You can start getting some orientation and some whatever early. It's $1,000 to play the game. It's going to be 28 days. I said 30 days. It's going to be 28 days because we're going to get a 2-day break and then we're going into the next game, right? For guys who want to. But if you're interested, reach out to me. So, thank you, Hans. And with that, we're out.
See you tomorrow.